Hey, Rich. Rich. Rich, where?
Ladies and gentlemen, as you find your seat, please make sure that you move to the center of the rows so that other guests coming in may find their seat. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please do squeeze in to the middle of each section to make room for our guests who are trying to be seated. We cannot start until everyone is seated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a standing-only event, so as long as you're not in the lower level, you may also stand against the walls, in the back of the theater. Just make sure that you move towards the center to make room for other people, and feel free to stand against the walls in the upper area. Thank you.
faculty, family, friends, the 2023 commencement ceremony is now in order. If everyone can remain standing and those who are not standing, please stand for our national anthem by the Amadeus Quartet. Thank you. You can be seated. Wow, we have standing room only. This is a first. We will now have the invocation by the Reverend Dr. David Anthony Spencer, Jr.
Let us bow our heads for a prayer as I pray in my faith tradition. Gracious God, God of judgment, justice, and freedom, we come now to give you thanks and praise for this time, the time in which we celebrate and honor these graduates. We're grateful for the space that has been created to witness the pinnacle of all academic success of these, our graduates. We give you thanksgiving for all administrative and academic team members who have assisted in making this time so special. We give you praise for the leadership who aids in making this academic program rigorous and insightful. Lord, as we continue in this prayer of invitation and thanksgiving, we salute the board of directors who continue to give vision and direction for the future. Most importantly, we invite you into this space as we have gathered to give special honors and charge the graduates as we send them forth. We also request that you use the speaker, Judge Dustin Hightower. Prepare him to come and fill us with words of challenge, life experiences, and homage. Allow the words used this day to inspire, invoke, and promote continued greatness as the alumni before them. Use this time for reflection and observation. Finally, Lord, let the tears shed today be reminders of the sacrifices made, the struggles confronted and overcome, and the joy of victory for the completion of this journey. We certainly speak of not just the graduates, but the family and friends who have engaged and accompanied our graduates on this demanding and prestigious journey. We give you praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Let our hearts say together with a smile and thanksgiving, amen.
Thank you. Dear graduates, distinguished faculty members, staff, significant others, parents, and special guests, on behalf of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, I am honored to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2023. Today we come together to celebrate the incredible achievements of our graduates and to recognize the tremendous contributions of our faculty, staff, and loved ones. To our graduates, I want to express my heartfelt congratulations on this momentous occasion. Your dedication and hard work have led you to this day, and you should be immensely proud of all that you have accomplished. You have been given a gift of legal knowledge, skills, and perspective that will empower you to be the agents of change in this world. We trust that your time here has given you the tools to thrive in your future endeavors. To the faculty and staff who work so extremely hard to guide our graduates through their studies, I want to extend our deepest gratitude. Your commitment to excellence, your passion for teaching, and your willingness to challenge our students to grow have been instrumental in shaping the legal leaders of tomorrow. To significant others, family members, friends of our graduates, we thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement. Your love and support has helped them achieve this momentous achievement. As we gather here today, I would also like to reflect on the past and look to the future. The legal landscape is rapidly changing. The challenges our graduates will face as legal professionals are greater than ever before. As you embark upon your legal careers, remember that the law has the power to shape society and to protect the rights of those who cannot speak for themselves. As lawyers, you have a unique responsibility to uphold the highest ethical standards, to seek justice for all, and to serve the public interest. Your profession requires courage, compassion, and a commitment to truth and integrity. I am confident that each of you will rise to this challenge and make a meaningful impact in this world. Finally, to our graduates, I would like to remind you that you are a part of a vast community of legal professionals, all of whom share your passion and commitment to the law. You have the power to shape the future of the legal profession and to create a better world for all. Remember to stay true to your values and never stop learning and growing, and to always seek justice for those in need. So once again, congratulations to the class of 2023. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and I look forward to hearing all about your credible accomplishments in the futures. Congratulations. Now we will hear a few special remarks from the Student Bar Association President, Mr. Keith Collins.
Okay, good afternoon and thank you. I want to speak briefly in 3 acts, but before I do, I'd like to invite my classmates to breathe with me. So 1, 2, inhale, 3L, exhale. Okay, I stand completely in awe of this moment, and I do have to just honor my parents, who both are here today, and they are the sum of all my dreams, so shout out to my mom and dad. But in fact, as I thought about stories and things that I learned along the way, I thought about a lesson that my mom taught me early on, and it's a little unconventional, but I grew up with 5 brothers and sisters, and a tight-knit family. But whenever we would make mention of friends, she would always say, "You ain't got no friends." You know, I mean, to this day, I've known people for 20 years, and she'll say, "Who you talking to, my friend?" She'll say, "You don't have any friends." And it's a funny lesson, but the heart of it is the reality that the way that our humanity exists is more often than not, you know, when life throws us hurdles, adversity, or difficulty, human nature enforces on us the belief to choose ourselves first. And so I thought it was important to recognize that. But more than anything, It ingrained in me a quest for true friendship, so much so that I believe friendship is my love language. And my law school journey has been the culmination of my lived experiences. My quest for friendship through Atlanta's John Marshall Law School was replaced by community because in every endeavor, you, Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, chose me first, over and over again. So first act, to the administration, faculty, Dean Harrison, Dean Gatewood, the board of directors, I have accumulated a tremendous amount of respect and gratitude for your contribution to the refinement of this institution. Your ability to see us, to identify our greater ability and nurture it is not lost upon me, and I am the most proud recipient of your gift of investment. Act 2, to the graduating class of 2023. Let me just say this. Do you know who you are? I mean, do you know who you are? Because you are quite literally incomparable. You had the vision to look past a global pandemic and plant yourself into your future. There is nothing you cannot do. Backed into a corner, you choose to succeed. You are resilient. Backed into a corner, you choose to succeed. You are resilient. You stand proud, chin up, and persevere. You are bold, and the magnitude of your brilliance is exhausting. So, class of 2023, breathe and be present, because the power that you possess in your spirit no longer lingers, resting alone in the depths of your dreams and desires. No, today, that power has risen out of the abundance of your efforts and permeates in your being throughout all perpetuity to be accessed whenever you need it. Lastly, just before the curtain call, Act 3, to our AJMLS community, let me be the first to thank you for your contribution. So much of the story won't be told, but you, our families, friends, significant others, have carried us through. We did not get here alone, but don't get tired yet. Please don't get tired yet, because in many ways, this still is just the start of all of our journeys. It begins today and tomorrow when we start bar prep. We will need your relentless, unyielding, overwhelming support, just as we've needed it for the past 3 years. So thank you all for what you have done and all that you will continue to do. Congratulations. We are AJMLS proud. Thank you.
I don't know if he meant to do this. I understood the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. We're in a theater, so I don't know if that was intentional or not. So before we continue any further, we're going to continue with our 2023 Commencement Awards. Every year, we honor some graduates with a number of awards. And so as I announce your name, these first few awards, as I announce your name, please stand in your seat to be recognized. The first award, the Pro Bono Distinction Award, goes to Alicia Constance Andrews. Also receiving that award is Lloyd Jean. And the final person receiving that award is Carlton Adam Leroy Lewis. The next award is the Excellence in Pro Bono Award. Goes to Victor J. Gordon. The next award, Atlanta's John Marshall Law School Award for Excellence in Appellate Advocacy, Mr. Keith Collins. The next award is the Judge Harold R. Bankey Advocacy Award. Ms. Katie Adams. The next award, the Henning Award for the Atlanta Bar Association Dispute Resolution Section. Brooke Harrison. The next is the Gall Award, Georgia Association of Women Lawyers Outstanding Graduate Award. Rose Love. And then we have the National Association of Women Lawyers Outstanding Graduate Award. Ashley Starnes. Here at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, we also have an honor society. We call it the Order of the Quill. We had 5 members inducted into the Order of Quill this year. First member, Davis Fetter, member of the Order. Alicia Andrews, Scholar of the Order. Next, Radford Kelly III, Scholar of the Order. Next person, Jessica Regalado Bailey, Scholar of the Order. And the last person, Jacob Holden Gregory, Honor Scholar and Marshal of the Order. We have the next 3 awards. As I call your name, please come up on stage to receive your award. First is the Chief Justice Leah Ward Sears Pro Bono Award. Esther Yin Ko. All right, we have the Atlanta John Marshall Law School Outstanding Graduate Award as selected by the faculty. We have one for the full-time division and one for the part-time division. For the full-time division, Chauncey Graham. And again, the Outstanding Graduate Award for the part-time division, Jacob Gregory. Okay, right now I have a special acknowledgement regarding a wonderful professor who is going to retire at the end of this year, Professor Anthony Baker. After 13 years of distinguished service at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, Professor Anthony Baker has announced his retirement from teaching at the end of July 2023. With a career spanning decades, Professor Baker has left an indelible mark on the legal community, both in the United States and Canada. Throughout his career, Professor Baker explored the American story, and the idea of America, having been fascinated by the intertwining of the American Civil War, the United States Supreme Court, and the decisions of Marbury Madison and the Dred Scott case. His own compelling journey even influenced the curriculum of his own research, and it is still ongoing as he is in his final chapters of his book that's near completion. Professor Baker worked in Canada in the areas of criminal and constitutional law research, alternative dispute resolution, and pastoral ministry for many years before returning to the United States in 1995 for additional graduate education. His dedication to the study of law is evident through his impressive tenure as a professor of law at multiple esteemed institutions, including Campbell University School of Law, Pepperdine University School of Law, University of Maine School of Law, and the University of Wisconsin Law School. At Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, Professor Baker taught a wide range of courses on topics such as criminal law, American legal history, remedies, professional responsibility, and jurisprudence. When asked about his time at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, he remarked, "My goal has been to move the study of law from the what of law to its why. Why do you want to be a lawyer?" His unique approach to legal education and exceptional teaching skills have made him a beloved professor among students, colleagues, and peers. As Professor Baker embarks on a well-deserved retirement, we extend our deepest gratitude for his remarkable contributions to our law school and the legal profession at large. We wish him all the best in his future endeavors and hope that his retirement years are filled with joy, relaxation, and fulfillment. Thank you, Professor Baker, for your impact on our scholars. We have a small, come on up. We have a small swag bag so he never forgets who we are. Thank you. He truly will be missed. He keeps us on our toes at faculty meetings for sure. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker for today, the Honorable Dustin Hightower. Judge Hightower was appointed by Governor Nathan Deal and sworn into Superior Court of Coweta Judicial Circuit on May 26, 2016. Judge Hightower was then elected to serve as the Superior Court judge by the citizens of Coweta Judicial Circuit in 2018 and again in 2022. Judge Hightower grew up in Carroll County, Georgia, where he graduated from Central High School. He then went on to attend the University of West Georgia, earning a bachelor's degree in business management and graduated cum laude. Judge Hightower followed that by attending Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, where he received his Juris Doctorate. While at the law school, he was selected as the notes and comments editor of the inaugural law journal of the university, the John Marshall Law Journal. And he was honored by having his comment titled "Student Searches and Seizure, Georgia's Current Approach and Recommended Change," chosen to be published in the First Law Journal. From 2008 to 2016, Judge Hightower practiced law in his home area of Carroll and Douglas counties with his former law firm, Miller and Hightower. The firm focused their practice on personal injury cases, criminal defense, and divorce cases. For over 6 years during this time, Judge Hightower also served as a city prosecutor for both the city of Mount Zion and the city of Buchanan. In January 2012, Judge Hightower was elected to the Georgia House of Representatives, where he represented the 68th House District. During his legislative tenure, he received the Defender of Liberty Award from the American Conservative Union, and based on his efforts to fight against family violence, the Georgia Commission on Family Violence selected him to receive their Legislative Leadership Award. In 2015, he was recognized as Legislator of the Year from both the Georgia Trial Lawyers Association and Service Providers Association for Developmental Disabilities. In an effort to give back to his community, Judge Hightower also serves on the following boards: Carroll County Child Advocacy Center Board, Carrollton Main Street Board, the University of West Georgia's National Alumni Board, the University of Georgia's Athletic Foundation Board, and in 2012, the University of West Georgia selected Judge Hightower to receive the 2012 Outstanding Young Alumnus Award. In 2013, he was recognized as a top 10 young professionals in Douglas County. Judge Hightower is married to Christina Camp Hightower. Christina is a high school math teacher. They have 2 lovely children together, Stella June and Waylon. Please welcome me in honoring and welcoming Judge Hightower.
First, I want to thank y'all for having me here today and giving me this great honor to speak with you today. Dean Gatewood, I cannot tell you how much it means to me to be invited back today and give back to the school that gave so much to me. It's kind of unique that today is the day and this is the year that I select to speak. My family has a thing that they say the number 23 has always been associated with me. I was born on the 23rd, and 2 of my best friends growing up, birthdays were on the 23rd of a month, and then this is 2023, and y'all are celebrating. John Marshall is celebrating its 90th anniversary, and it was on July 23rd of 1923. Very unique. I want to start by saying I know how important and how honored it is to sit where you are. Family, I don't know if y'all really understand the difficulties they come through to be here, because it's not an easy place to be. As I sat and thought about what I wanted to speak about today, and I did ask them if I could remove this, because I told them I do better when I do my own thing, right? And when I stood in the back, they said, "You're going to change things up a bit." And I said, "Well, does that microphone come off the stand?" And they said it does. So what I want to encourage y'all to do today is what I have found in life. If you will be proactive instead of reactive, you'll be able to accomplish so much more in life. And it's been kind of my mantra for my upbringing that my goal in life is I want to be proactive in everything that I do. I want to go after and grab every dream that I have. And some people say they can't wait till an opportunity is given to me. The way that I view it is I want to go out and I want to take every opportunity, right? I want to take every opportunity that's given to me. And I'll tell you, I need to correct Dean Gatewood on one thing. He said that I was selected to be on John Marshall's inaugural law journal, and that's incorrect. I missed the cut. But I knew if you give me an opportunity, I'm going to show you I can do what I can do, because that's how I was brought up. So I went to Dr. D'Agostino and I said, Dr. D'Agostino, I know for a fact there are some individuals that are going to turn down their invitation for the Law Journal because they have other things they're doing. I said, I want to take one of those spots. And he said, well, all right. He said, we have an exam tomorrow. Let's see how you do on that exam. Well, what do y'all think? Huh? You tell me what I got to do to get where I want to go, and I'm going to do what I got to do to get where I want to go, right? I did good in the exam. Dr. D'Agostino allowed me to be on the Law Journal, and in that, I was actually selected to have my comment published, one of 3 students to have it published. Now, the message there is not that I got published. The message there is that I was willing to be proactive. I was willing to do what it took to make it happen, right? To make it happen. It's one thing to have a dream. It's another thing to be willing to fight for that dream, right? That's what happens when you do and know your worth, right? When you know your worth, that's what you can do, right? Now, I'll tell you, John Marshall prized himself in diversity. Right? You can read it on the website. I know it about their history. But I tell you, the ultimate diversity is us as individuals and our background. Because every single person in this room has a diverse and unique background. Right? Just in they called it the green room. First time I've ever been invited to a green room. Right? But I was invited to the green room prior to being here. And I got to sit and speak with some of my fellow colleagues up here. I learned that one judge had the title of general. That's amazing. General? Right? Judge Glanville. I learned that Dr. Spencer is following his passion as a pastor to help lead those through medical crisis as they come up against things fighting for their life. Dr. Slacker, right? I found out that he is a neurosurgeon and practiced in the emergency room in the small rural town where I live. Now, I tell you that because I didn't learn those things because I went in the room and sat down and kept to myself. If you ask them, when I came into the room, man, I hit the room, we were talking. I want to get to know them. I want them to know me. And before they start sharing their stories about me, what they'll tell you is I got in there and I started sharing stories about myself, right? I started saying, hey, I got one for you. Listen to this. And then they realize, okay, this guy, let's talk, right? But I'll tell you, it's our background and our diversity that makes us who we are. But here's the key. It's how you are willing to use that to impact others. A lot of times we say we hide our background, we hide our diversity, our family history because we're ashamed of it or we're not sure how other people will be taken. But I'll tell you, if you hold your unique value to yourself, the rest of the world will miss a blessing. The rest of the world will miss what you totally have to give because if you are unique and you are awesome, you need to show people that so they can understand and appreciate you for truly who you are. Right? Right? So with that, I want to open up and be a little more personal with y'all. Right? They said that Professor Baker said he wants to know the why. Right? Why do you want to be an attorney? Well, I'm going to share with y'all why I want to be an attorney. But in doing that, I'm going to show you why and how I use my background and my history to achieve every dream that I want to achieve, right? So I got to give you some family history. Y'all bear with me. I promise you'll like the story, right? My parents were married at 17 years old. When they got married, they lived in a trailer behind my grandparents' house. My dad had to wake my mom up to finish high school, and my dad went to the docks in South Louisiana with my mother's dad, my grandfather, to learn how to work on the docks. My parents had me 2 years later. Now, growing up, I used to tell people, my parents were married at 17, and my mom would go, had you at 19. I had no idea why she did that until I was older. I was like, oh, now I know why she made me say, oh, but had you at 19, right? My parents started with absolutely nothing to their name. I had a story that my mom told me. She said when they first moved out of that initial trailer, they moved to another trailer, and she said, Dusty, the rat infestation was so bad that I was scared to put my feet on the floor when we watched TV. She said the thing that ended it, she said, I woke up and she said there was rat feces on your blanket in your crib. And she said at that moment, I told your dad, she said, I love you, I'll follow you anywhere, but we got to go somewhere else. Right? I got to tell y'all, man, I was blessed with amazing parents. We did not have much growing up, but I can assure you, I never doubted that I was loved. I never doubted that the foundation they were building for me, that I could tackle anything in the world. Right? I watched my father work 2 jobs almost my entire life. My dad was a construction worker. And he worked that during the week and on the weekends, and then he started moving furniture about the time I was 11 years old. He picked up a side hustle, started moving furniture. He would move furniture at night after work, and he'd move furniture on the weekend. When I turned 13, I had to go and start moving furniture with him, right? Weekends, Saturday, Sunday, I was moving furniture with my dad. I moved furniture with my dad from the time that I was 13 until halfway through law school. Most of my friends on the weekends, they're out having fun, doing things. I'd play football on Friday night. I was up in the morning at 5:30 with my dad. We're heading to Atlanta. We're moving furniture, right? He was the man that woke up before I was up and got home when I was already in bed. But I didn't doubt where he was. I knew he was doing that, and he conveyed what he was doing because he was doing it for us. He was fighting to give me and my brother a better opportunity. My mother ended up going back to college. My mother became the first person in her family to graduate from college. She did that a year before I graduated high school. I can remember the first time my mom started talking about going back to college, and I'm sitting there going, Mom, I'm thinking this in my head, do you see how much this man works? Like, Mom had a job too, but I'm like, what else? How are we going to do this? How can he do more? But I'll never forget what my dad said, because my dad always pushed each one of us to do our best, including my mother. He said, Tina, if that's what you want to do, go do it. I'll make it work. I'll make it work. The reason I share this with you is because, y'all, I had phenomenal parents. I had parents that taught me truly anything is achievable if you're willing to work hard and fight for it. Go and work hard and fight for it. The motto in our house was make it happen. Go and make it happen. There is not going to be an excuse good enough for you not to achieve what you think and want to achieve, right? Give y'all an example of how Dad used to motivate me. So I was in high school. I was in 10th grade, and I was starting on varsity baseball, right? Now, for y'all that play sports, anybody, y'all, 10th grade, varsity, that's like kind of a big deal, man. I was like, oh, my goodness, right? Progress report comes out. I was in honors classes now. I had all A's and an 89 in math, right? I remember I was excited, man. I'm starting on varsity baseball. I got some seniors that are sitting on the bench. I'm starting, like, I'm the man in my mind, right? Come on, I'm in 10th grade. I'm making all A's, 189. I'm kicking life's butt, right, is what I'm thinking, right? And I'll never forget, my dad sat me down and he said, son, I'm proud of you. You're doing really well. He said, what about this 89? And I'm like, it's an 89. That's pretty good, Dad. I mean, you know that's like one below 90. Just so if you didn't know, that's really good. And he says, son, you're a good high school athlete. He said, you ain't going pro. He said, do I need to take you off the baseball team? Y'all, dead serious now. Dead serious. Do I need to take you off the baseball team? Again, 10th grade, starting on varsity, all A's, 189. And the conversation in my house, do I need to take you off baseball? I said, no, sir. Message well sent. That will be an A at report card. Right? And you know what it was? It was an A. Come report card. I tell you that because that's the type of parents I have. I have parents that were truly willing to show me that I could do anything if I was willing to fight for it, right? So I was 17, and this is the day that changed my life forever. This is the day that I was able to fill in the why. I was 17 years old, and I'm walking my driveway, and I'm complaining. I'm complaining to my dad. Now, I'm complaining to the man who works 2 jobs, 7 days a week. It was common for him to work 16 to 18-hour days. I'm complaining to the man that called me one time as an adult years later. I was in the state legislature, and my dad calls me one time, and he says, you ain't going to believe it. I broke my record. I said, what are you talking about? He said, man, I worked 118 hours this week. He slept in his crane 3 nights. He's a tower crane operator. He wasn't complaining. He wasn't upset. He was excited. You know why he was excited? His check was going to be good, right? That hourly worker, baby, he knew. He's like, man, I'm ready. Called me the next week. Now, y'all, I'm probably 32 at this time. My parents are just shy of, they're 19 years older than me. Called me the next week. He goes, you ain't gonna believe it, I broke my record. I'm like, what are you talking about, Dad? He said, I worked 121 hours this week. Now, I'll tell you that's the mentality of the man I'm complaining to at 17, right? I'm talking to him like, Dad, man, I just got a lot on me. I'm making all A's. I'm on the football team. I wrestled. I did baseball. I get out of school at 12. I go to work part-time. I get done with work. I go to practice. I work with you on the weekends. Like, man, there's a lot going on. And my dad usually, because he worked so much, he didn't have much time, so lessons came quickly, if you know what I mean, right? It wasn't a lot of talking. Lessons were taught very fast, and you had to pick up on those lessons quickly, right? Except for today. Except for that day. He sat and he took it in. And he said, son, I need to tell you a story, right? Need to tell you a story. He said, need to tell you a story about a young man who was 13 years old, and him and his buddies, they got bored one night. And they thought it would be a great idea to go hold a couple up, to go rob them. He said, so that's what they did. That's what this young boy and his buddies did. They went and they held this couple up and they robbed them. But being a small town that it was, when this young man returned home the next day, cops were there. They were arrested. That young man was charged as an adult. That young man was sentenced and did 2 years in the Alto State Prison. When that young man went to prison, he went in front of a board that you went and you stood in front of, and that board, the role of that board was to decide where you got assigned in the prison, what your prison duty was. Was you going to work in the lunchroom? Were you going to work in the laundry? What you were going to do, right? The young man goes and stands in front of the board. Now, he's roughly 14, just about 15 at this time, standing in front of this board of men, and they go to give him his assignment, and he raises his hand. The board kind of paused and said, well, yes, sir, would you like to say something? He said, I've heard that y'all have a system where you can earn an education while you're in here. I need to know how I can earn my way into that program. And the board stopped for a second, and they sat back. The guy in the center of the board, he leaned up, and he said, did you say how you could earn your way in that program? And the young man said, yes, sir. That's the program I need to be in. He said, will you step outside in the hall for just a minute? Let us talk. So the young man steps outside in the hallway, right? They bring him back in a few minutes later, and they say, sir, because you said or asked, how do I earn my way in, we're going to place you in that program. This young man, while he was Alto State Prison, while he was there, he earned his high school diploma. He also earned his bachelor's degree from Truett McConnell College. On the day of graduation at Truett McConnell, he was granted a pass with 2 police escorts, and he was allowed to walk the stage at Truett McConnell, right? There was an article in the paper not long after that about this student. Do you think the article had anything to do with the fact that the young man was in prison? No, sir. The article read, youngest in Truett McConnell's history to graduate with that degree. And he did it while he was in prison. I'm 17. First time I'm ever hearing this story. My dad looked at me and he said, he said, do you know what that young man did when he graduated? Or when he was released from prison? Do you know what he did? I said, no, Dad. I have no idea who this man is. How would I know? He said, son, he found your mama and he asked her to marry him. He said, and he's been married to her ever since. See, the part of the story I left out for y'all is that my parents met for 1 year when they were 11 and 12 years old. My dad was from Carrollton, Georgia, where I grew up. My mother was from South Louisiana. They traveled to Carrollton, Georgia for 1 year. 1 year. My parents met when they were 11, and my mom will tell you to this day, she will promise you she knew when she saw my dad at 11, she was going to marry that man. But little did she know, my dad, when she left, he was going to be a bad little kid. My grandmother said that my dad rode his bike across town at 11 years old. Y'all hearing my grandmother tell this story is awesome. My grandmother says he rode that bike across town. He put his thumbs in the back of his pockets, and he said, Miss Clifton, when I'm old enough, I'm going to find your daughter, and I'm going to marry her. And my grandmother said, Jeff, if you love my daughter that much, you come find her. When my dad got done telling me this story, he looked at me, he goes, you can conquer anything because you're my son. We all have a history. What you going to do with your history? What are you going to do with your history? For years, my dad did not allow us to share that story. For years, he was ashamed of it, right? Could not share the story. It came to where I had been elected to the state legislature. I was going to be interviewed for the judgeship that I currently hold. I was 34 years old. I was in the state legislature, and no one outside of our family really knew this story. And I went to my dad, and I said, Dad, you got to let go. You got to let go of how you hold this story. I said, in order for me to have the best chance in my life, you got to let me share what makes me me. You got to let me share what makes me who I am, because if you expect me to go and interview for this appointment, how am I going to let them know who I am if you hold inside of me who they need to know? So I challenge you, as you move forward, find your why. Find your why. If it's part of your history, find it, hold on to it, and make it uniquely you and share it with others. And do great things with it, right? Got 3 other small things. When I was in law school, and these are just little lessons for you to take as you go, right? When I was in law school, after my first year, I had 2 roommates that were both in law school. One was in John Marshall with me. The other one was at Georgia State. We were all undergrad together, and we decided to go to law school together. We were fortunate enough to all be roommates while we were in law school. After that first year, or when that first year was coming to an end, they're like, oh, you have to get a law job. Like, you got to do something. You got to get a clerkship. You have to work at a law firm. You have to do something with law. How many of y'all heard that after your first year? Like, you got to do this. You have to do that, right? You know what I say to what you have to do? That's bull crap. You have to follow your heart, and you have to follow your true passion, because by following your passion, great things will happen. Do you know what I did? I went and was a river guide on the Ocoee River. I lived in the rafters of a barn for a year. And when I say the rafters of a barn, I mean a piece of plywood in a barn at the top with mice traps around me. You know, I asked my wife, we were dating at that time. She said, I ain't visiting you, right? But I, in my life, because my parents let me know I could do anything I want to do. I didn't have to follow necessarily your path for my greatness. Because I knew what was inside of me. I knew what I could do. I knew what I wanted to do. And I knew, because you had this box you wanted me to fit in, that wasn't going to be what made me me. I was going to make me me. Do not be afraid to follow your heart and passion if it is a true and honest passion, because that will shine through, right? Now, I got to brag on my 2 roommates for a minute, because they went much more traditional route. Andrew Lovern probably followed the most traditional route. He's now a partner in one of the largest law firms west of Atlanta, Tysinger Vance. He made partner prior to 40 years old and is doing phenomenally well. The other, Michael Holmes, who is a graduate of John Marshall. I don't know if y'all know this. How many of y'all are familiar with Peach Court? E-filing? Do y'all know that one of your fellow graduates, Michael Holmes, graduated with me? Do y'all know that is his invention from John Marshall Law School? Did y'all know that? Michael Holmes, that was his brainchild. He came up with that. He approached the business group out of Carrollton, just happened to be in our hometown. Peach Court and e-filing would not be what it is in the state of Georgia without him. It is truly his idea, and he came up with it and how it works. Amazing, right? The other thing that I want to leave you with is this. I was speaking to a group one time in Villa Rica, Georgia. It was a Lions Club. Now, the Lions Club is usually an older group of men, right? And at this time, I was in the legislature, so I was relatively young, right? I was probably 30 years old. The average age of the men in the room was probably like 200. And they asked me, they said, I'm there to answer legislative questions, right? I'm there to answer legislative things, right? And while I'm there, one of the old men, he just sits in the back, he raises his hand, right? And he goes, I have a question. I said, yes, sir. What's your question? And he says, man, you're always smiling. Are you really in that good a mood? And I paused because he was asking a real question. He didn't realize it, but he was asking a real question. And so I paused for a minute to truly reflect on his question. And I said, you know what? Yes, sir. And I said, I can tell you why. I said, clean living. I said, I bet you right now, I said, if I told you, every one of you in this room right now, you had to put your cell phone on this table and you had to let your wife have it for a week, I said, I bet some of y'all, what? I said, my wife can have my cell phone. She can keep it. We add more stress to our lives by our own bad choices. If you will simply do your best and do your work and make good choices, you'll be amazed at how you control the stress in your life. The stress will just fall off of you because 90%, I argue 90% of the stress in our lives are self-inflicted by laziness, by apathy that we have, that we don't want to get involved. Clean living. Finally, I'll wrap this up with this, regret. I was mentoring a young lady one time, and she said, do you regret how you handled cases in the past? Right? I'd been practicing law for a while. I was a judge at the time. She presented me with this question. She said, do you regret the way you handled cases when you first started? And again, she was asking a real question. And when I'm asked with a real question, I try to give a thoughtful response. Right? And so I told her this, and this is what I'll share with you as young attorneys. Regret is a dangerous place to stay. And it's a dangerous place to be. I do not regret how I handled a case in my early career. Now, would I go back and handle some of those things differently? Sure. But I don't regret the way that I handled them then, because at this point in time in my life, at the beginning of my practice, I did my cases and tried my cases and practiced my law to the very best of my ability. If I did my very best, why should I regret that? If I'm over here in present time and all I do is regret what I did back then guess what? How can I ever grow? Because what I truly want, thank you. What I truly want as an individual is to be better with each day. Do you not want to be a better attorney in 20 years? Right? Hopefully you're a little better than you are right now, right? 20 years from now, you want to look back, man, now I could kick my younger guy's butt, right? The way you stay away from regret is the same way that you keep clean living. And that is to do your best and try your hardest and aggressively go after each and every dream that you have. And if you do that, you can truly live without regret because you're doing your best. Now, if you look back and you were lazy, or you didn't try your best, or you said, no, I'm going to sleep in today, and you missed something, regret that. Because you made a choice to do something that wasn't your best. Regret that. Regret not doing your best. But if you truly do your best, never regret your best effort, but always strive to be better and always make it happen. Always go after your dream and grab it. And don't let anyone tell you you have to do it this way or that way. You seek your dreams and you seek your passions as you want them to be. Thank you.
Wonderful message. Thank you, Judge Hightower. Now we've reached the main event. The announcement of graduates and the conferring of law degrees. I will ask Associate Dean Harrison and Associate Dean Erica Walker-Cash to begin to announce the graduates and hood the graduates. Can the first row stand? And make your way to the staircase and you'll have your name called. Thank you.
Katie Forrester Adams. Aderemi Adeshola Jr. Estibaliz Afanador. Lindsay Ray Almond. Alicia Constance Andrews. Lauren Briggs. Hannah Canavan. Lance Arnold Caruth. Monique Alicia Cherry. Kira Clark. Keith Andre Collins. Danielle Davis. Mercedes Laureen Dickerson. Jack Dixon. Shane Downard. Davis Milton Fetter. Edis Wilton Freeman III. Ray Frisson Bostic. Maya Andene Fuquay. Gandera Garland Galashaw. Victor Jamel Gordon. Chauncey Alexander Graham. Jacob Holden Gregory. Brooke Janice Harrison. Nina Hassan. Maritza Delisa Hurd. Lauren K. Henderson. Maureen Jineshaw. Lloyd Jean. Marquita Danielle Danny Jones. Rayford Kelly III. Bethany Keys. Sang-hun Kim. Esther Yun Ko. Carlton Adam Leroy Lewis. Rose Love. Kayla Alexandria McGee. Joseph Maggiano. Brittany Deanne Manuel. Elizabeth Ann Mara. Danny Martinez. Katie McClelland. Christian Medina. Richard Gavin Mejia. Zyma Mithavayani. Dean Kareem Moore. Amy Diana Morris. Huntley Nash. Diamond Alexis Nimini. Austin O'Neill. Kieran, okay. Nikita Kiran Patel. Thomas Anthony Petrolisi. Russell Alexander Preston. Jessica Regalado Bailey. Raquel Riley. Angelica Rivera. Lindsay Noel Roberts. Grant Schrantz. Taylor Sierra Scott. Joan Suh. Lauren Melissa Spencer. Tashana Springer. Ashley Starnes. Barack Starrett. Melanie Christine Steffo. Michael Solomon Stewart. Stephen Stagil. Robert Paul Stout. Kendall Nicole Leilani Taylor. Samantha Kathleen Taylor. Kofi Tom. Calent Tyler. Judy Ann Urbaez. Jennifer Nicole Wilson Walker. Kaya Rochelle Williams. Leander Antoine Williams. Shaughnessy Portia Williams Bryant. Chris Adele Wright.
All right, it's time to make this official. I will now ask Associate Dean Boone to come join me at the podium. Will all members of the class of 2023 rise?
Dean Gatewood, I had the distinct honor of presenting the candidates for Juris Doctor degrees. They have completed the course of study prescribed for them by the faculty and have successfully passed their examinations. On behalf of the faculty, I request that you confer upon each of them their degree.
Dean Boone, upon your recommendation, it is my privilege, by the authority invested in me by the Board of Directors of Atlanta's John Marshall Law School, to confer upon these individuals the Juris Doctorate degree with all rights, duties, and privileges appertaining thereto. You may flip your tassels. Please be seated. As is customary, we will hear from the various valedictorians of the class of 2023. The valedictorian for the part-time division is Jacob Gregory.
Hello, everyone. Thank goodness that brevity is the soul of wit, because honestly, the fact that I'm standing before you all right now, let alone as valedictorian, leaves me speechless. With that said, I have been asked to speak. I could have used this time to make you laugh, perhaps make you cry, to tell you the wild and wacky tales of what it's like to go through law school, of which I'm sure you will hear plenty when you have dinner and celebrate with your graduates this evening. But instead, I believe this time is better reserved for thanks, because getting to this stage was not an act of solitude. It took an army to get here. John Marshall students, unlike those of other law schools, are always willing to help each other rather than focus on the competition. No matter how difficult the situation or material, I always knew I had more than a dozen people I could count on, and at least one would be able to answer any question that I may have. I knew that I could text the group chat at midnight and someone would be able to tell me what was due tomorrow at noon. I knew that when times got rough, people like Danny Jones and Jack Dixon would be there to make us laugh. I knew that even when the professor was cold calling, if I didn't know the information, someone else would take the hit and ensure I wasn't embarrassed. I know that without them, I would not be here. These people, the people on the stage, the people in this room, are the reason why I am able to stand here today. We all did this together. A speech would, however, be incomplete without making sure I also thank the following. My mom, my dad, my brother, it would not be possible without you guys. My girlfriend, she's always here for me, even when I'm stressing over things like this speech. The professors that managed to teach us a lifetime's worth of information within 3 to 4 years. Lastly, everyone else that is in this room, thank you for getting us where we are today. But without further ado, we've got bar exam studying, so I will see all you later as we move forward into our new lives. Congratulations to all of the John Marshall 2023 graduates. Thank you.
Now we will hear from the valedictorian of the full-time division, Miss Alicia Andrews.
Today marks a new chapter in our lives, and it is with great honor and humility that I stand before you as a valedictorian of this remarkable law school graduating class. Together, we have endured countless hours of study, sleepless nights, endless stress, and rigorous challenges, which include persevering through a global pandemic and completing part of our law school journey through Zoom. Today, we celebrate not only our individual achievements, but also the collective triumph of perseverance and dedication. Law school has been an arduous journey, demanding the utmost of our intellectual abilities, emotional resilience, and moral compass. We are not only expected to read hundreds of pages every day, study for exams and attend classes, but many of us are also working, raising a family like my amazing friend Katie Adams, enduring mental and physical health struggles, and countless other personal factors. These achievements deserve to be celebrated, and although we have not yet reached the top of Mount Everest, as I was recently reminded by Professor Vendetta, we can fully celebrate when we all pass the bar exam. As we reflect on this journey, let us not forget the unwavering support of our loved ones, our families, friends, and mentors who have stood by us through thick and thin. Their encouragement, sacrifice, and belief in our potential have fueled our successes. Today, we share this triumph with them, grateful for their unwavering faith in our abilities. I want to specifically thank my amazing parents and my sister Heather and my two brothers Seth and Caleb, who have endlessly supported me on this journey and been my biggest cheerleaders. They have not only sacrificed time with me, but been patient with me when I'm stressed and lifted many burdens off my plate, reminding me that I'm not doing this for myself, but for the Lord and His people. I want to thank my favorite teacher, that also happens to be my mom, who homeschooled me until college while also working full-time. Mom and Dad, I feel like y'all need to be standing up on the stage with me. This is your accomplishment just as much as mine. I also want to thank my amazing fiance, who not only survived law school with me, but he made it while putting up with me for the past 3 years. Cal, I'm so thankful we met first semester and that I get to now marry you in 6 months. I truly could not have done this without you. You've been my rock, and I'm so proud of you and thankful that we got to walk across the stage together. Your hard work, dedication, and passion for social justice continues to inspire me. Thank you for pushing me to be my best and somehow making law school fun. I know that the only way that I've gotten through these past 3 years was to continually remind myself of my purpose. Why am I doing this? We all know that there are many other jobs that pay well and require less schooling and less work. However, I always came back to the realization that by becoming an attorney, I'm using the skills and abilities that God gave me to help the helpless, serve the underserved, and ultimately make a difference that will create a more just, fair, and equitable legal system. We live in a world beset by challenges, social, economic, and environmental. Inequalities persist and freedoms are threatened. However, let us remember that our legal education has equipped us with the tools to effectuate change, to challenge the status quo, and to champion justice in all of its forms. We have an obligation to promote equality, protect the vulnerable, and ensure access to justice for all. This call for change demands that we listen, understand diverse perspectives, and find a common ground. So I challenge you, as you study for the bar and begin your career, to remember your purpose. In closing, my fellow graduates, as we step out into the world as lawyers, let us embrace the noble ideals that led us to this moment. Remember that the true measure of our success lies not merely in the cases that we win or the accolades that we receive, but in the lives we touch, the systems we reform, and the injustices that we rectify. Congratulations, class of 2023. Today, we celebrate the culmination of our legal education, but let this only be the beginning of our remarkable journey. Together, let us create a future where justice prevails.
The amazing thing is that with the flip of a tassel, you all just became alumnus. With that, we will hear remarks from the chairman of the Alumni Association, Jennifer Gore Cuthbert.
Good afternoon, graduates, faculty, family, friends, and our newly minted alumni. I'm here to tell you that our Alumni Association is alive and well, and to invite you to stay connected. My name is Jennifer Gore Cuthbert. I am from class of 2012. It's hard to believe that was 11 years ago. Life goes by really fast after you graduate. I started my law firm the day I got my law license, and we recently we're celebrating our 10-year. And the work, John Marshall was a school that let me in when I applied to 5 other law schools, and they wouldn't let me in. And I remember thinking, one day, I will give back to the school. And one day you guys will be proud that you let me in. And I think that's something we can all remember. This is an opportunity to become a lawyer. We have the opportunity to change people's lives with the knowledge that we have. I want to thank AJ and Wendy for their hard work in the last 2 years as we've brought the Alumni Association back to life. It would not be where it is today without their continued work and efforts to promote the need for a strong alumni association. You have the opportunity as the alumni of this distinguished school to carry on the long honor tradition of dedication to excellence that has been established over the last 90 years as we celebrate our anniversary. I've always believed being a lawyer is an action word. You need to be passionate about helping other people and creating justice. Be involved with your community. The one thing I can tell you that has been instrumental in my success over the last 10 years is the relationships that I have and continue to maintain. Participate in your alumni activities. You never know what door could be opened by one connection. Hopefully you've already learned that in law school and you continue that as you become a lawyer. Give back to the people that are behind you in law school. Mentor people. There's always someone you can help. And maintain a professional appearance and reputation in our community because you are Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. I want to go ahead and just celebrate. Congratulations to the class of 2023. We are so proud of you, and we look forward to seeing you at our first and next alumni event that you'll be invited to very soon. Thank you.
Before we have a few closing remarks, we will receive the benediction from Reverend Dr. David Anthony Spencer, Jr. Thank you.
"90 years of service, 90 years of instruction. Eternal God, we are excited and overwhelmed with feelings of achievement. You have allowed these graduates to endure the hardships of scholars before them during this ever-changing time in our world. Graduates have heard from our speaker, received their honors. Hoods have been distributed, rights and privileges have been given unto them. Let them now move forward with confidence, conviction, and courage. Allow them to glean from the mental notes transcribed from lectures past. Allow them to file away the words of wisdom and experience that may access at a later time when needed. As they have had to persevere in the classroom and be forced to encounter the reality of possible scenarios that they will be confronted with, infuse them now with wisdom and insight and the willingness to seek counsel and comfort for themselves. Let them not be bullied by the expectations of others, but let them be empowered by their faith and training attained in the hollow halls of this esteemed institution. We thank you for the tedious and successful transition from virtual to face-to-face experiences. Nurture now the relationships attained from this experience. Bind these classmates together as they may need one another in the future. Prepare them for elevation and challenges ahead while justice and righteousness stand at their side. Allow humility to capture their hearts and grant them favor among all humankind, and yourself. We ask now that after this day, you prepare them for the test ahead of them. Bring them back to their remembrance all that has been imparted unto them. Let them reflect on their experiences in and out of the classrooms. We are grateful now for the words of our speaker, letting them resonate in the hearts of our graduates and guests. Let us now leave from this place with celebration on our lips, gratefulness in our hearts. Grant safety in the celebrations ahead. And may all witnesses in this place never forget what has happened this day. This is our prayer. In the name who does everything well, let every heart say together in love and compassion, amen.
A few closing remarks. As you know, the law school is now a 501c3 nonprofit. This move gives the flexibility to provide better services and opportunities to our incoming and current students, as well as our alumni. As part of this move, we also established the John Marshall Foundation and hired a Chief Development Officer, Ms. Wendy Ina, who will help steer our fundraising efforts and provide more direct scholarships to our students. We're already seeing the fruits of that labor. These efforts are being done every day. As you go forth to change the world, I want to leave you with 3 words: connect, hire, give. Connect. Stay connected to Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. We want to hear the great things you're doing. Come back and visit. Help mentor other students. Hire our students into job opportunities or internships when you're able. And give back to our foundation so we can continue to attract top students and support our students by providing more scholarships. Connect, hire, give. This concludes the 2023 commencement ceremony. Please allow the platform party and the graduates to exit first at the rear of the auditorium, and we will see you there. Thank you.